The Ministry of Agriculture, Marine Resources, and Constituency Empowerment is partnering with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, in the drafting of a country program framework, an administrative tool that will determine FAO's in-country support and assistance to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in achieving its national development objectives, particularly as they relate to agriculture and rural development. The draft document will be presented by National Consultant Ms. Eilis Watt at a working meeting with key stakeholders and partners where they will discuss, analyze, and make recommendations towards the finalization and adaptation of the framework as part of our strategic plan. This forum is scheduled for Tuesday, May 24th, 2011 at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort and commences at 9 a.m. with a brief opening ceremony.
What the document really is, it's called the Country Program Framework, and it's basically an agreement. It's a document that's a joint agreement between the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and FAO. And what it represents is a commitment of FAO, subject to the availability of funds, to assist the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in its effort to achieve its national development objectives as they relate to agriculture and rural development. Okay. So by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis accepting this document, we are saying yes, we are committed to what is in the document, and we would provide from our end whatever resources that is needed to realize the goals of the document.
Okay, so far, what have your findings been?
Fine. The document will be discussed at stakeholder conference workshop meeting on Tuesday. We'll present the document to the stakeholders, and whatever changes needs to be made will be made. If we are in agreement with the document in its totality, which I doubt, we would it will be forwarded on to the ministry and hopefully to cabinet for endorsement, and then on to FAO. FAO would look at the document and see how are there any areas in the document where we really cannot assist. So there's a negotiation process between the government and FAO to determine which areas FAO really can assist on, and a determination would be made from there.
So far, what are some of the areas that has been identified for discussion?
For discussion? Okay, Eric. The document was based on the draft agricultural development strategy of the Ministry of Agriculture. So it is supporting the same three pillars: contributing to food and nutrition security, fostering the development of viable livelihoods and competitive agribusiness, and importantly, managing and sustainable using and the sustainable use of our agricultural biodiversity, use and conservation of agricultural biodiversity. So out of these three pillars, then we look at the broad areas for assistance. Okay, and we have, I think, three broad areas, and under each we have a list of sub areas for assistance. For example, one of the areas is food and nutrition security. That is a broad thematic area. So we are saying, FAO, we would like your assistance under this heading. And then under that now we have a set of areas that we would like, specifically priority action areas. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few. Okay? Study to identify watershed areas around farm settlements with an aim to harness water for use in irrigation. Okay, another one would be the financial and technical evaluation of greenhouse establishment and possibility for adoption on farms. Okay, another one of those would be support the development of community school and kitchen gardens with a focus on involving youth in agriculture. And there are more, and then another one would be technical assistance in the sourcing and development of improved breeding lines for large and small ruminants and pigs. Okay, and then for the second area now, which would be agriculture and rural development, we have a different set of priority areas. This section on the agriculture and rural development focuses a lot on human resource development. So we're asking for a lot of training in a lot of areas. For example, marketing, strengthening of co-ops, facilitating the development of green energy. We're looking at pack house management, food safety, group dynamics, cost and production, and enterprise budgeting. That was one of the important areas that was asked for assistance in. Effective methods of water harvesting and water management. And another one would be assistance in the development of an effective IPM program for the cotton bollworm. And this was a specific request out of Nevis, right? And then the final thematic area now is forestry, fisheries, and environment. Because given our fragile physical resource base for agriculture, this is very important to be able to manage our resource base. So in this area now we are looking at the development of aquaculture. This was a request specifically out of the Department of Marine Resources, given the fact that the amount of harvestable fish is greatly diminishing. So we are looking at aquaculture as a means of food security and increasing the amount of fish and fish products available for consumption. So that is one of the main areas on the forestry, fisheries, and environment. And then the second one is the request for the development of an agricultural land and water policy. This has been, and the policy would be expected to elaborate on the sustainable management of natural resources, including sustainable water use for agricultural production. And we are expecting that the policy would speak to rainwater harvesting, small-scale drip irrigation technology, soil amelioration techniques, climate change, and drought mitigation strategies. And of course, the document will speak to implementation, monitoring, and evaluation area, because it's no use asking for the assistance, getting the assistance, and then there's no way to monitor and evaluate the effects of this assistance.